Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Jessica Martini coming to you live from Ironfire Workspaces here in Bellflower, California. This is the co-working space that I go to quite frequently. And since it is the last working day of the year for a lot of people, I thought I would jump on here. I have recently gotten access to LinkedIn Live, which is their streaming option. And so I wanted to test it out. I've got some live streams coming in the new year, and I want to make sure that I'm nice and practiced for when I do those next week. But I'm so excited to be here and just chatting a little bit about how I'm closing out the year and talking about some of the things that I'm doing in the new year. So I did a very non-scientific poll on my LinkedIn page about a week ago and asked if any of you had been planning some New Year's resolutions, because this is the time of the year when people start to do some goal setting and things like that. So about a third of you said, you don't even make New Year's resolutions. You don't need it in your life. It's not for you. That's fine. About a third of you also said you hadn't made them yet, but you will. You want to think about the future. You want to think about how you're going to plan out your new year. And a third of you also said, yes, I know what my resolutions are. I've planned them. I'm ready. I'm going to jump into the year knowing what my focus is. And I love that. So I am such a planner. I love to check things off my list. I love to have that sense of achievement. And I wanted to share with you some of the things that I use to help me with my goal setting. I use an app called Trello, and I've talked about this before on some of my blog posts, but Trello, I think, is a great way to digitally track some of your projects, and it makes a great format and flow for ease of moving things through progression to show that you've completed certain tasks. I also got into paper planners a little bit. They're kind of hit or miss for me, but I found a company called Golden Coil, and they allow you to create a custom planner. So you can pick the pages, pick the order of the pages. And I think that's so helpful if you're the kind of person who knows what kind of formatting you want, and you don't want to go through the process of maybe the bullet journal format where you've got to map it all out yourself. So I have my Golden Coil journal all ready for the new year. And that's a great way for me to sort of map out my big picture goals for the new year. But I would love to know if there's any other things that you guys do to help and plan and prepare, but also to wrap up your year. We tend to look back at what we've accomplished in the last year to help with that goal setting for the new year. And I'm going to give a shout out to Mike Ferrero with Meetings Me Daisy. I saw him post on social media today a reminder for all of you in the hotel world to sign your contracts today. If you have a contract for a program for next year, you will be doing your hotel salesperson such a solid by getting that signature into them today so that they are not sweating it tomorrow, because the year has been stressful, and just giving them that sense of one less thing to have to worry about, right? Not to have to chase you in the new year for. So now that we are talking about 2022, though, there's a lot of change still happening. I think when we think about the pandemic, we thought that we were kind of in the clear, and now there's the Omicron variant and just new challenges. And so I would love to know how this is impacting your travel, your meetings. The hotel and travel industry has been so heavily impacted by this, but I think there's still some great silver lining and some great promising events coming in Q1. And I want to talk about two of the events that, if you are in the Southern California area, are a must. These are our annual events for the MPI Southern California chapter and the MPI Orange County chapter. And I think that it's a great way for you to get some perspective on what has been going on, but also to look ahead. So the first one is January 13th. The MPI Southern California chapter is having their State of the Industry. That's at the LA Memorial Coliseum. It's going to be on January 13th. And Mike Dominguez is going to be the speaker. Love Mike Dominguez. He's the president and CEO of ALHI, but he's just a great wealth of information, and he'll be talking about the state of the industry. So if you can get to that, highly recommend it. The other event that I want to plug is MPI Orange County, because they are also doing a state of the industry. So based on where you are, you might even want to go to both. The state of the industry event for the Orange County chapter is going to be on Monday, January 21st. 24th at the Hyatt Regency Orange County, which is in Garden Grove. And they are going to have a panel of folks from different DMOs. So Junior from Visit Anaheim is going to be there. I love him. Some folks from Visit Newport Beach, lots of different DMOs in the Southern California area. So again, state of the industry, but a little bit of a different perspective. So if you can get to both of them, absolutely recommend them. I've always enjoyed going to these events in the past because it's just going to give you some great perspective, especially with what's going on in the world right now. But with all of that, I also want to talk about some things that are a little bit closer in, and that's next week. So if you follow me on social media at all, you may have seen that I am leaving Southwest Airlines. Today is my very last day working for Southwest Airlines. It has been an amazing experience working for this company, working with the people that are there. Just absolutely incredible. I learned so much. I was new to the airline industry, had a travel background, but new to the airline industry, and really feel like I gained so much from the almost 3 years that I was with Southwest Airlines. So today is my last day. I have some new exciting things coming up in the new year. I won't be able to share all of that until later in January. But in addition to my regular work stuff, I have always been really passionate about educating and speaking, and especially this past year, I have become super passionate about talking about the women in my life who I think are doing amazing things. So I started Woman Crush Wednesday posts, which were so well received. I got a lot of great messages and comments and feedback from people saying, wow, this is so awesome. I had no idea that people, these women in our community are doing such fantastic things. So I have decided that in addition to those posts that I'm doing in text on social media, especially, on LinkedIn, that I wanted to do a video component. I've got this access to LinkedIn Live. Why don't I use this platform and this opportunity to interview some of these amazing women? So I am doing 2 LinkedIn Lives. I'm calling them lunchtime lives because it's at lunchtime for me. And the first one is January 5th. And that is with Mandy from HPN. But she's a woman of many talents. She is an author. She is a coach. She is a speaker. And we're going to talk about all of those different things and get her perspective on what's going on with COVID, but also talking about her book and her sales strategies and her hustle and all of those things that really have created such success for her. So that's January 5th at noon Pacific time. And then January 7th, just 2 days after that, I'm going to be talking with Libby, who is with Frontier Communications. She's previously with Southwest Airlines. She has an amazing side hustle, helping people with their side hustle, because I feel like especially during the last 2 years, people have been pursuing that other thing, that passion that might exist beyond their regular job, right? Maybe it's dog walking. Maybe it's creating your own homemade crafts that you're selling, whatever it is. Side hustles are becoming really big. And so Libby is going to give us some perspective on what she can provide as a coach and a person to guide you towards the right side hustle readiness, and just some of the things that she's seeing in that space. So I'm super excited to have those. The links for that are going to be in the description here in the Linktree link that you see there. It will have all of the social media links for me, as well as the links to the events for the live streams for those 2 events next week. So with that, I'm just really glad to have this opportunity to put my stuff out there, put my content out there, even if no one's even watching it at this point. This is great practice for me. I love to get to know people better, and I love to share stories and tell stories. And I'm in, let's be honest, I'm in sales. I like to hear myself talk. So this is just a wonderful opportunity for me to put all of these passions that I have together. So thank you so much for joining me. I try and keep these lunchtime lives pretty short because I want to make sure that, we're maximizing your time during the day. But thank you for joining me. I hope to see you next week for my 2 lunchtime lives. And I also hope that I will see you at one of the MPI events coming up in January. And then stay tuned for the big update from me at the end of the month in January, January in terms of what my new career is. Can't wait to share that news with you all. So Happy New Year, everyone. And I hope you finish out the year strong and have a wonderful end to 2021.